Maybe Australia's favourite egg dish isn't a dish at all, because we're going to try something a little bit different today. It's a drink rather than a meal. We're going to Vietnam for Vietnamese egg coffee. Coffee in Vietnam is kind of an institution. You can drink it at any time of day, and one of the most famous versions is egg coffee. Thick Vietnamese coffee topped with a fluffy sabayon. Let me show you how to make it. You're gonna need some of these. These are Vietnamese coffee filters. They're kind of cool. You've got a metal filter, you put your ground coffee in there. This filter, I guess mesh, screws in on top to hold the coffee in place, and then it drips into the cup. Before we get started with these, I want to warm my cups up first. Because they are dripping through, you want to make sure, if you are having hot coffee, you can always have this iced as well. Make sure you're getting the cups warm all the way through. So a bit of hot water into the cups, a bit into a tray as well. I'll just sit those in the water until I'm ready to pour my coffee through. So now to brew my coffee. Of course, if you don't have these, you can use espresso, you can use instant coffee, you can use drip coffee, whatever you want really. But if you want the authentic Vietnamese egg coffee experience, you've got to use Vietnamese coffee. A few spoons of ground Vietnamese coffee into each of my filters. The thing with these Vietnamese coffee filters is you don't want to overfill them. Put too much coffee in and it'll drip out too slowly. A couple of spoons in the top, that's all you need. And then screw the top on. You don't need this to be really pressed down, but just finger firm to hold the coffee in place is perfect. Now to put these on the cups. Cups are nice and warm now. And I'll start off first by just adding a touch of water to the top of each of these. Not filling them up completely, just a touch of water so that the gravity and the weight of the water isn't too much, but just enough to allow the coffee grounds to swell a little bit so they don't run through the filter too quickly. I'll leave that for about a minute and we'll start with the egg coffee foam. It's quite ingenious really. It's a foam made of egg yolks and a little bit of condensed milk. You know, your classic sabayon or zabayon in Italian. Might be using a bit of alcohol, a bit of brandy, even just some hot water, but condensed milk adds that extra sweetness to it as well. So, a couple of egg yolks, just the yolks. I'm doing this with 2 egg yolks and half a cup of condensed milk because I only want to make a couple of cups. But if you want to make your life easier, it is so much easier if you do this with 4 egg yolks and 1 cup of condensed milk. So invite a few friends around and have some egg coffee. Now these look ready to be filled up. Not all the way to the top, just about 3/4 of the way up these filters is plenty. Pop the lids on. I'll let those drip through while I get to whisking these. About half a cup of condensed milk. And of course you could use a hand whisk to do this, but it is a fairly difficult process, time consuming, so if you've got an electric whisk, I recommend using that. After about 10 minutes of whisking, you got a lovely creamy custard. The coffee is finished dripping. And the lids of these Vietnamese coffee filters bubble as filter rests. Then just take a spoon and pour your custard over the back of a spoon so it sits on top of your coffee. It's a bit of a labour of love, but it is absolutely worth it Vietnamese egg coffee, one of my favourite egg dishes, and don't forget to vote for yours.